World War I was a trying time for the world. The lack of peace on earth led many to doubt the existence of God. Weaponry advanced beyond the battle tactics of trench warfare, resulting in staggering numbers of dead and wounded. Conditions in the trenches included vermin, the stench of death, sickness, sweltering heat, and frigid cold. During the winter of 1914, on the battlefields of Flanders, one of the most unusual events in all of human history took place. The Germans had been in a fierce battle with the British and French. Both sides were dug in, safe in muddy, man-made trenches 6 to 8 feet deep that seemed to stretch forever. The battle continued to rage between the Germans and the Allies. Shells were fired across to enemy trenches. Attacks and counterattacks were launched, with men pinned down in foxholes in no man's land. Mustard gas, mortars, and gunfire maimed and killed soldiers fighting for their countries. But then, as a beautiful moonlit night fell, frost settled on the ground, creating a soft white glow. At about 7 or 8 in the evening, there was some commotion in the German trenches. British sentries reported that there appeared to be small lights raised on poles or bayonets, and although these lanterns clearly illuminated the German troops, the British held their fire. Even more startlingly, British officers saw through binoculars that some enemy troops were holding Christmas trees over their heads with lighted candles in their branches. The Germans, who celebrate Christmas on Christmas Eve, were extending holiday greetings to their enemies. A few German soldiers started singing carols, and it was soon picked up all along the line as others joined in harmonizing. Then they began singing Stille Nacht, Heilige Nacht. The British immediately recognized the melody and began singing Silent Night along with the Germans. Then occurred one of the most unusual incidents in military history. One by one, soldiers on both sides laid down their weapons and ventured into no man's land, too many of them to prevent their superior officers from objecting. An undeclared truce had broken out spontaneously against all orders and the rules of military combat. Soldiers left their trenches, meeting in the middle to shake hands. The first order of business was to bury the dead who had been previously unreachable because of the conflict. Then they exchanged gifts: chocolate cake, cognac, postcards, newspapers, tobacco. In a few places along the trenches, soldiers exchanged rifles for soccer balls and began to play games. Soon they were even playing soccer, or football as it is called in Europe, mostly with improvised balls. According to the official war diary of the 133rd Saxon Regiment, Tommy and Fritz kicked about a real football supplied by a Scot. This developed into a regulation football match with caps usually laid out as goals. The frozen ground was no great matter. The game ended 3-2 for Fritz. The spontaneous truce, which included French and Belgian troops in some sectors, was largely over by New Year's Day, however. Commanders on both sides ordered their troops to restart hostilities under penalty of court-martial, and German and British soldiers reluctantly parted, in the words of Private Percy Jones of the Westminster Brigade, with much handshaking and mutual goodwill. The Great War stretched on through another 3 Christmases and beyond, but all subsequent attempts to organize similar truces failed, and millions more died before the armistice of 11 November 1918 finally ended the shooting for good. For a few precious moments, there really was peace on earth, goodwill toward men, all because the focus was on Christmas. In our troubled world, our prayers are with our troops across the ocean, and that peace would come soon. But true peace comes only through the baby born in Bethlehem who lived to die. Jesus laid down his own life that we might have peace with God by the sacrifice he made for us on the cross. And so let us remember that silent, holy night in which our Savior was born to bring peace on earth and goodwill toward man.